5 months or less. I listen to BBC podcast. It's about 30 minutes every day.
Okay.
And yeah, according to listening, I think here they check our understanding different pronunciation, also different accents, maybe. Yes.
Okay. Anyone else, any idea about IELTS listening? Or
Shazia is agree with me.
okay, yeah. Grace, what about Zahra? Do you agree as well?
She's forcing me to be.
Sir, I don't have any idea for regarding IELTS listening, but listening at all, I don't have any experience. Most of the time, I face difficulty while I listen to American movies, their accent.
Yeah, your voice is just lost. However, okay. Hayat, what about your listening skill? Zahra, your voice is cut. Hayat, could you stop? Internet is lost.
Also, I can't hear you. I can't hear you because my internet is very weak.
Okay, so I will come to Rafat. Rafat, what do you think about IELTS listening or listening in general? Rafat, are you in the class? Or zombie login? However, these students, we've got IELTS listening, the best skill, inshallah, with the best practices, we'll just be an expert at the end about listening. IELTS listening, it has actually 40 questions. How many questions?
40.
40 questions with different types of questions. Okay, with different types of question. For example, we'll have multiple choice. We will have a gap filling, multiple choice. We'll have chart like the reading you have seen. We have another type of question by the name of gap filling. And there will be blank spaces, so you have to fill those blank spaces according to the audio that you hear from listening. So then you have sentence completion. Then you have matching as well. You have to match words with the things that are pronounced from the audio. And another type of question, again, you'll have mapping as well, which is the easiest in the listening. So you've got 40 questions that are coming from different parts of with different types of question in the listening. And then you've got four parts in the listening. How many parts?
Four.
Yeah, before it was called a section. For example, section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. There was some changes in 2020 in the IELTS things. So section was changed into parts. And I will tell you about the other changes as well that you're going to face in your real off-field exam. So we've got 4 parts, and each listening part has 10 questions. Each has 10 questions. For example, we've got part 1. 10 question, and we've got part 2, again 10 question, and we've got part 3, again we've got 10 questions, and we have part 4, again we've got how many questions? We've got 10 questions, and if you just add all of them, then it is 40 questions. Now, actually, the listening, guys, I'll come about this one as well. And the listening IELTS students, the audio is played once only. So the audio is played once only. So you have to be very, very careful not to just miss the questions, because most of the students they stick with one question. If they stick with one question, then they miss all the questions. They may miss maybe 3 to 5 questions because the audio is just going there, just speaking. So if you miss one question, you have to skip and not miss the other questions which is coming. Is this clear? So actually, the audio, the pronunciations, maybe the things are actually the pronunciation is from different sources. It means you've got American pronunciation, it's okay. You've got British pronunciation as well. والله خو busy since the yaki كم با تلفظ British هم شما آشنا میشین. مثلا دیگه find the other classes they pronounce mostly American in Afghanistan. So the students, they are accustomed with American accent. So when they go to the real exam and they hear the British accent, which is a bit, which is very easy, but people think it's very tough. So they are not accustomed to it. So that's why British pronunciation and sometimes even Australian pronunciation and sometimes even, for example, non-native speaker. For example, people from India or maybe people from other countries, for example, from Spain coming to England, or for example, from Germany, from non-native speaker. So be careful about actually the pronunciations. It could come from different sources. It could come from British, American, Australian, Canadian, and Spanish or Afghanian as well. Okay, Afghani as well. So the thing is that you have to be from today on, when you're practicing for the IELTS students, be careful. You have to do these things. These all of these, I mean, these the 2, 3, 4 months that you're preparing for IELTS, try to surround yourself with English. It means if you're listening, it should be in English. If you're watching, that should be English documentaries, movies, and researches, and about technology, about anything that you like, about medicine, about engineering. So anything that you like should be in English. Okay, surround with English. Or maybe you're reading anything, even you're going, for example, through Facebook, you have to like the pages which is in English language. You have to like, for example, BBC, CNN, and other sources as well, which is in English language. So all these sources, you have to, even the reading, I mean, whenever you're reading anything, that should be in English language. And on the other hand, when you're speaking, it should be in English language. Try to speak with friends, try to speak with other colleagues, try to speak, for example, when you're going to the job, even you have to speak with yourself. I mean, do you remember that when I was in Kuwait, I had a job as well, then I was going to school as well. You know, I didn't go to the courses too much. I remember I went to the course for English language, maybe 3 semesters, especially for the beginning. When I understood a little bit, then I searched myself. Well, especially in the speaking, I was listening to the British documentaries from BBC. As I said again, the Doha debate, which I forgot to send you the link. So, and other documentaries as well. But I was speaking to myself. Yeah, I was speaking to myself. Nobody was actually laughing at my pronunciation. Nobody was actually criticizing me. Nobody was actually even paying attention because I was just speaking to myself. You know, there's actually a story as well. I was in a kitchen. I was making some teas. Then I was speaking in English language with myself. The things that I had read, the things that I had watched, I was saying those things in English. When just my brother, he came into the kitchen, suddenly I was just speaking with myself, making tea, and then he slowly opened the door, and suddenly he saw that I'm talking with myself. Then he closed the door. He escaped. He went and talked to my mother and our family that Rahmat had got a problem. He's talking with himself. And that's in English. So they didn't know that I was practicing with myself. So suddenly when actually one of my friends said, maybe that was in 2018, one of my friends said, Rahmat, let's go to there was a course by the name of Herald, the best course, English Institute. He said, let's go there and just check our English. I went there, everybody introduced themselves in the class. That was advanced class. So when I introduced myself, every people, they stopped, and the teacher said, stop, Rahmat. Where have you done your English courses? So with whom was your teacher? Maybe with whom have you practiced? And then I said, sir, with no one. I just practiced with myself. And then he said to the other class fellow, to the other people, clap for Rahmat. So actually what I am trying, dear student, to tell you is that حالا خودش ما یک چیزی بخواین 100% به اون نرسید. Almost in today's world, there is technology, there is internet, there is hundreds of sources that you can learn, that you can take advantages of, and you can just have the best IELTS score and be in the best university in the world. So actually that was from my side. So please, from today, if you're speaking, it should be in English language. Even if you're writing, it should be in English language. You know how to write, for example, task one. You know, for example, when you're crossing from the street, you see some machines. Then try to write about that machine, or maybe try to speak about that machine, which is very helpful in task one. Or maybe there is any, for example, hot topic, or maybe, for example, debatable topic, for example, about the situation going on in Afghanistan. Select a topic for yourself, write something, post it on Facebook, post it on social media, post it on Instagram, post it, for example, even you must have a blog for yourself. You can write anything, and when you post comment I'm confident شما خوب میشه همین که مردم میخوان کامنت های خوب شاید بدن دیگه یک سجشن های شاید خوب بدن دیگه. That is how the students you would progress. Although even if I give my example to you, my Facebook, you know, actually I am mostly I don't have any friends from Afghanistan. All Facebook things, if I just open my Facebook, everything is in English language. I have friends from other countries. You know, I have just, for example, there is comedian from BBC One. It's only comedian. When I just open, it's coming, it's loading. So that's in English language, and I just enjoy. حالا آدم را کم مجبورم منک تو روی معنای لغت رو بفهمی، بخوانی، وید کار. خب امیدوارم که these things helps you a lot to prepare you for IELTS, listening especially, and especially this thing surrounding yourself with English language, inshallah, to prepare for IELTS. Is this clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Let me just talk about the different sections of, or the different parts of the IELTS listening. What will come in part one mostly, what will come in part two, what discussions will be in part four. So actually in part one, the first 10 questions, it is mostly discussion. It is mostly discussion, or sorry, it's mostly conversation. Conversation. What's conversation? Any one of you?
While two people are talking.
Yeah, while two people they talk together, that's called conversation. For example, it's the simplest. The beginning test for each skill is very, very easy. I mean, even the reading and the writing and speaking and in the listening. The same thing is happening with listening. The first 10 questions, they're about conversation, mostly it's about form filling. For example, I have gone to United States and I want to reserve a hotel. So I'm just calling to the receptionist and he is asking my name and my number, and I'm asking about the room, the view, the parking, and the timetable, maybe about the menu as well. So it's a conversation between one person to another, which is the simplest and the most easiest one. Now, part two, which is a little bit get tough, it's about the monologue, a social monologue. Do you know what social monologue? Monologue, maybe the spelling might be right. Any one of you, what's monologue?
I haven't heard it before, sir. Monologue.
Any other Shazia, Hayat?
No, sure. No.
Okay.
We don't know.
Okay. Monologue, or you can say discussion as well. It's monologue. Mostly it is a sort of discussion between 3 to 4 people. Right? 3 to 4 people. They speak together, and or maybe, for example, one speak to the group of people, one speak to 3 people, one speak to 4 people, and again it's sort of discussion, but that's a bit social. For example, people are going to Bamiyan, or maybe the tourists are going to Bamiyan, and I'm giving them the direction how to go to, for example, the Buddhist statue, how to go to Bandi Amir, and then how to go to Shamama. Or maybe I've not been to Bamiyan, but I have heard from friends and family they've gone there. So, but I wish to go there once. And so this is called social because everything is about there's daily things. Mostly it's about the tourists coming here and all this. Mostly it's about social things. And we've got part 3, which is getting a little bit tougher. Again, it is academic monologue. Any idea what academic monologue means?
Academic could be educational or politics, some kind of debate.
Debate, okay. Any other idea from anyone else? Monologue, academic monologue, as Zahra said, it's mostly educational. For example, 3 to 4 students, they may talk about their subjects, they may talk about their university curriculum, they may talk about university syllabus, they may talk about any new teacher, they may talk about the exam that they might have. So 2 3 students, they talk together, and there is the blank spaces or multiple choices or maybe other forms of questions. Then you have to do what? You have to answer the questions, which is a little bit tough because it is a little bit academic. The vocabulary is academic. So we've got part 4, actually the toughest. As I said, the beginning Ielts is easy, but it gets tougher as you move on. So, and the part 4,
sir,
yeah.
Sir, does always academic refers to educational books?
Sure. Academic refers to educational, researches, invention, professors, students, all these things, university, schools.
Okay.
Part 4, it is about the lecture. For example, any university lecturer or a professor, they may have any sort of invention, or they may talk about any, for example, researches. For example, I have done a research about fossil fuel, or I have done a research about animal extinction, or I have done a research about, for example, the climate change in Afghanistan, or maybe the tourist industry in Afghanistan. So I am explaining my lecture in the part 4. So this is how it is the most tough, because it's academic and it's lecture. And the other thing is that between this, okay, just missed here. In here, when they're talking to students, for example, between question number 1 to question number 4 or to question number 5, they're pausing, they're taking their time. They give you time between question 1 to question 5. Again, they stop from question 5 to question 10. Again, they stop for seconds, 30 seconds, and then you have to stop from question, for example, 10 to question 15. Again, from 15 to 20, 25 to 30. The toughest part the toughest part, the lecture, is because there is no any pauses. Like for part 1 there is no pauses, so you have to be careful. They'll speak, and then you have to answer. Am I clear so far?
Yeah.
Inshallah, no worries.
Yes, sir.
I've got the basic strategy. Inshallah, we'll discuss together and you'll enjoy. Again, if you had any question, you can raise hand, you can stop me, we will discuss together. So the books that I've got here is the basic book, inshallah, for you guys. Do you check your emails, or you're just busy, guys?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, sir, I did.
Yes, sir, we have.
Okay. Shiba, did you check your email? Which was, or you're not feeling well?
Sir, I was not feeling well. I checked. I saw just the speaking part, because you sent the speaking book first, and Shikeba was also saying me that sir is not sending the listening